Hey guys, it's Justine here from I Should Read That, and after disappearing for about a month or so, I am back with a little update. We have officially moved. As you can probably tell, I'm in my new library slash office. We are very, very happy. The move was hellish. It was nightmarish, but it's over. It is done. We are in and we are very, very happy. Of course, moving house always takes it out of you, so I have just not been up for making videos or doing much of anything except building furniture and trying desperately to unpack our lives. But I was feeling like I should probably get back into the booktube mood, so I went ahead and I pulled out my old ring light and it exploded, which is slightly dramatic. The like plastic bit that holds like the ring light to the stand, it just like disintegrated and plastic went everywhere. I'm still finding bits of it all over the floor. So I had to wait until I got a new ring light, but I'm finally here. I'm finally back, hopefully regularly. So first things first, before we really get started, I would love to take you on a little tour of my new reading space because I do have my lovely chair. I have my reading nook and I'm so incredibly happy. This is very much a work in progress. None of these books are organized in any way, shape, or form. I still have about 9 boxes at my parents' house to bring home and unpack just of books. We have more stuff there as well. And so we are going to get all of that in. We are going to organize everything, and then we are going to also have more bookshelves in other places in the house, so like in the living room and such, and that's where things like my nonfiction and stuff will go, some of my trophy copies, which you'll see. So yeah, this is very much a work in progress, but here is the reading nook so far. Okay, so the ring light makes it all look quite sinister, but these are the shelves in the book nook. Here is my lovely chair. Don't mind all the crap that's around. That's all getting tidied up. These are the books that I'm going to be talking about later. A little tidbit for later on. And then we have some more bookshelves over here. Here's some of the trophy copies that I was talking about. And they're not quite floor to ceiling like they were in our last place. The shelves are like the extender that goes on top of the Billy bookshelves is like literally a centimeter too big. We're gonna try to work on that, but for the moment I'm just like putting like manga and stuff up there and any kind of excess overspill. As you go around here, I've got an ensuite, which is hilarious. This I think was like a teenage girl's bedroom. So there's an ensuite, which is nice, and then my wee desk with my Lego flowers, and then also actually I have a little Christmas tree some of my friends bought me, which was so sweet. It was a move-in present, and I nearly cried. But I am going to be replacing my desk at some point. I'm going to try to find some kind of like antique-y type thing because there's loads of auctions around here. So I'm hoping I can find for like a tenner. I can find a really, really cute like actual wood desk, and then I've got to fill up this space here. I'm thinking I can get some like reclaimed wood like floating shelves, and I think that'll be really cute because I have, as you can probably see from the the bookshelves at the moment, I have tons of knickknacks. I've got like my ghost army over here. I've just got a ton of random stuff. So yeah, that's the room so far. I am really, really happy. I have been designing this room in my head for like the past 8 months or so, and it's finally coming together. I knew I wanted the sage green walls, and I knew I wanted like dark wood bookshelves. At some point, we are gonna like do built-in bookshelves or something, but that's many years down the line. So we got Old Faithful Billy bookshelves over here. And while moving has been very, very stressful, I respond to stress in one of two ways. One of those is to read everything on the planet, and the other is to not read anything at all. I have been intermittently going between those two, but at the moment, I think I've read 122 or 23 books so far this year, and a lot of that is because of moving stress. So if you ever move house, apparently that's great for your reading goals. But I am hoping to get to 130 books this year. We'll see how that goes. It is the 20th of December right now, but I think I can do it because I'm reading a few good things right now. Okay, so first of all, I'm about halfway through Compound Fracture by Andrew Joseph White, which is fantastic. I think this so far might be my favorite of his books. It's much more grounded in reality, and I feel like he has a lot to say. This feels like a very personal story because he is from Appalachia, he's from West Virginia, this area that he's talking about, and these characters are involved in like a generations long blood feud, and it's just a fantastic story so far. It's much more light on kind of the supernatural elements, although those are there. I imagine they'll get a little bit heavier later on, but I was really enjoying this audiobook, and then it finally happened to me, you guys. Libby returned the book. Ugh, I had it for like 2 weeks. I really should have finished it in that time, but I didn't. So I have a copy of it somewhere here, or it's in a box at mom and dad's. I have a copy of it somewhere. I'm going to finish that book because it was so good, you guys. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of what I wanted from You Weren't Meant to Be Human, which I couldn't finish, mostly because of the pregnancy horror. It was just way too much for me. But I think this is the vibe that I was looking for from that book. So I'm really, really loving Compound Fracture right now. I'm also trying desperately to get as close to my TBR goal as possible for the end of the year. You may know I started the year with 998 physical books on my TBR. I'm trying to get any number below that, so 997 or below. I don't think it's gonna happen because of stress and things like that. I have bought a fair few new books. Plus Christmas is coming up. The half price Waterstones hardback sale, if that's happening this year, will be happening later on. So yeah, I don't think that I'm going to reach those goals, but I am still trying my best. So I'm using Kobo Unlimited, which is fabulous. It's so much better than Kindle Unlimited, in my opinion. And so I've been finding some books that are on my physical TBR and reading those on my Kobo because at the moment, my brain just wants ebooks. It doesn't want physical books. So I am reading The Little Sparrow Murders by Seshi Yokomizu. So this is actually the last in this series of books that I haven't read yet. You may have seen Murder at the Black Cat Cafe if you're in the UK. It's been getting a huge push from Waterstones. That is the most recent book in this series. This is the only one that I haven't read yet. I love this series. We follow one particular detective who is wonderful. I absolutely love, and I am really, really thoroughly enjoying this so far. So I'm about 70% into this right now. I'm definitely going to be finishing this up tonight, which will put me closer to my TBR goal. And speaking of TBR goals, I did do a little bit of book shopping. I went back to our old flat just to check things out. I went to turn in our keys because we were selling the place, and I had to wait for an Uber. What better place to wait than in a Waterstones? I bought 4 books before the guy could show up. So I have those here. I'm going to show you. Not all of these are going on my TBR though. So the first book that's not going on my TBR because I've already read it is Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher. You guys probably know that I'm a huge fan of hers. This is her most recent, like, pure fantasy book. It's a Snow White retelling, and I read it from NetGalley on my Kobo, and I absolutely loved it, and I needed a copy for my trophy shelf. My T. Kingfisher books are actually all right down here, and this is going to be joining that stack as soon as this clip is done. So next up, I picked up a copy of We Are Legion, We Are Bob by Dennis E. Taylor. So Scottish Husband listened to these audiobooks. I think they were self-published. I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me on that, but they have been recently traditionally published. He loved them when he listened to the audiobooks, and he said that I would really enjoy them. They're very silly sci-fi, really, really good apparently. So they've been traditionally published now by Saga, and there's this really cute sprayed edge, and also we have some lovely end papers. You know I'm a sucker for a beautiful end paper. So this looks like it's going to be really, really fun. I have not read any sci-fi in so long, and it just feels wrong. I used to read sci-fi all the time. I absolutely love sci-fi, but I feel like it's been a couple of years since I've consistently read it, so I'm hoping that this will bring me back. A book that is not going on my TBR, mostly because I feel like it's kind of more like a reference book, although I am going to read it all at some point. I have the Briggs Dictionary of Fairies, and this is by Catherine Briggs and Fee Greening. First off, just a shout out to this cover. Look how pretty this is. It's a naked hardback, and it has a ribbon bookmark, 2 of my absolute favorite things in the world. And this is basically, it's literally like an A to Z like dictionary style of various, fairy tale creatures. Okay, so we have, like, for example, I is for imps. We have K is for King Hurla. I don't know who that is, but I'm going to find out. And this just looks really sweet. I really, really love fairy tales and folklore, and I have decided that I'm going to just fully lean into that. So I saw this on the shelf. They had in that Waterstones like a really lovely sort of display of really beautiful, clearly like copies to be gifted to people for Christmas, right? But they're beautiful fairy tale, folklore, all that kind of thing. So I picked this up. I think that this is going to be lovely. But again, it's not going to go onto my TBR because this doesn't feel like a TBR book. This is like a display book that I'll flip through from time to time. But it's so shiny and lovely. And then last but not least, what is going on my TBR is from that same sort of display is Enchanted Creatures Are Monsters and Their Meaning by Natalie Lawrence. This is all about mythological creatures. It's pretty self-explanatory. That sounds really interesting. I read a bunch of nonfiction last month. When I do my November wrap-up, which will be extraordinarily late, I will go ahead and talk about that. But I've decided that I want to lean into the nonfiction a little bit more and learn about things that I'm really interested in. So this seemed like the perfect fit. So those are the last of the books that I've hauled. I can't tell you my TBR number at the moment because I just don't know. I haven't put them into my computer yet because my life is in shambles because of moving. But very exciting news. I did join my new library. We moved to a new county, which means that I had to get a new library card. I'm holding on to my Oxfordshire one because they have access to Libby, which I absolutely love, and I have Libby on my Kobo. And this library will be using BorrowBox. I've never used BorrowBox before, so let me know if you like it or not, if you prefer it over Libby or whatever. But when I was there, I did do a little bit of browsing in my local branch, and I did grab 3 books. First up, because it's Christmas time, there is no better time for Christmas than reading murder books. So I picked up just a random Agatha Christie from their display. They had a couple on their shelves. This is One Two Buckle My Shoe. It's a Poirot. Poirot is my absolute favorite. I adore him. I don't know much about this one. I've heard the title before, but we'll find out if it's any good. I was also really, really happy to see on their shelves, on the kind of new release shelves, they had this Gilded Abyss, and this is by Rebecca Thorne. So I DNF'd, oh my god, you can't have treason without tea. You can't spell treason without tea. Yes, that one. I DNF'd that one. I wasn't super keen on the writing, and honestly, these gals, they needed to spend some time in the same room together, and they needed therapy before they could even consider starting a business together. Sometimes my sense of whimsy is overpowered by my sense of practicality, and I hate it when that happens. So I did end up DNFing her first book, but this is a completely different series. This looks really fun. It looks kind of like vaguely steampunky, Titanic-y. It looks like a hoot, and I really like her as a person. I want to buy her books and I want to support her, but I just want to make sure that I'm actually going to be enjoying them if I am going to be buying them in hardback. So this Gilded Abyss, I will find out. And then last but not least from the library, I picked up a copy of Spellbound, and this is by Georgia Layton. So this is a book that I saw all over at Yelk. It's got these cute sprayed edges. It's in, I think it might have been in hardcover at Yelk. I'm not 100% sure, but I was seeing it all over the place, and it was one that I was thinking about picking up, but I didn't, and I'm really sad that I didn't, because this sounds like it's a really fantastic fairy tale retelling that's maybe a little bit different. I love it when authors do a little twist on those fairy tales and the tropes and the classic things that we know. So this is basically a reimagining of Sleeping Beauty. I'm very curious about this one. I'm really, really looking forward to picking this up and seeing what this is all about, because I feel like I've not fallen out of love with fantasy in any way, shape, or form, but I've been reading a lot of horror, I've been reading a lot of crime, and I really want to get back to my fantasy books. It seems like it would be a really, really fun way to get back there. So that is my bookish catch-up. I am really, really thrilled to be so close to Christmas. I absolutely adore Christmas. Please check out my horrific Christmas jumper that I'm wearing. I'm really looking forward to just spending some time relaxing. I'm finished with work, so I'm going to be spending a lot of time reading in this incredibly comfy chair while Scottish husband has to work. And then we're going to be going over to my parents. We're going to be going to see my sister, who is going to be having a baby soon. I'm so excited. And I think it's going to be a really, really wonderful holiday season, and there's definitely going to be lots of time for relaxation and for reading as well. So I would love to hear in the comments below if you've read any of these books, if you have anything that you want to tell me about them, what you're reading right now. I would love to hear, because I am incredibly nosy. That is it for this video, and I will talk to you guys soon.